Hello, welcome. Um, we are going to talk about the deploying software using group policy. So we are going to talk about deploying softwares on a client machine using group policy. So this is going to be our table of contents. So we are going to deploy software to users and then the computers. So we are going to look at these two differences. If you want to deploy software to users, is it the same as deploying software to computers or machines? Anyway, so we are going to look at the big difference. So we are going to create a secure network share for the MSI. So if you want to deploy software to whether machines or users, the extension we are going to use is the MSI extension. That's the Microsoft Software Installer extension. We are not going to use the executable because it's not going to work under group policy. That one going to be a scripting or maybe using certain commands to deploy software on computers. So we're going to create a GPO to deploy computers to software to computers. So the software you're going to deploy to computers, you're going to deploy Firefox with MSI, and then to the user side you're going to use what is Google Chrome. So I'm going to deal with this one for the beginning, then when you are done, then I'll just continue with this one as well, right? Okay, so this is a server, Windows Server 2019, and I'm having a workstation. This is a client workstation here. The user is user 1, okay? So a server and a workstation. This server is actually, this workstation is actually joined to the server. So the first one we are talking about is a file. So we are going to talk about deploying, creating a secure network share for MSI file so that it can be deployed to the workstation we are talking about. So when I open my file Explorer, I click on this PCs. I have a partition drive that have what is called a deploy software. Okay, so that the F volume. So I'll open it and I have a software installers. And now you can see that I have Firefox set up with version 119.0. What is important is the extension I was talking about, the MSI. So I have Google Chrome standalone, Enterprise 64-bit, MSI. So these are going to be the two software we are going to install on our systems. One is going to be for machines and then our computer settings, and the other is going to be for user settings. Firefox is going to take the computer settings, and then Google Chrome is going to take care on the user settings. So first, one of the things we are going to do is that I have to share this folder. Alright, so you right click on it, choose properties, then we come to sharing. We are going to use advanced sharing here. I'm going to take care to share this folder. You can give any name that you want, so I'm going to leave it at the way it is, software installers. So I'm going to permissions. I'll have to remove everyone from this side, so I have to remove it. I'm going to add two groups here. Let's go to domain computers, and then I'll add domain users. This actually applies to every user that is in the domain, and this domain computer actually applies to every computer on the domain, right? So if that, you can put it on the read-only permission. I can give you the full control. Apply and OK. Click on apply, click on OK. Then let's come to the security side. We are going to another security feature. On our security side, we are going to add these two. So here the same thing, computers. Then I'll add domain users as well. Alright, so we click out, there's not going to be the permission, you're not going to take everything, so let's leave it the way it is. So apply and OK. So let's close it. So let's see whether if you can access this file share that we have actually granted permissions to. So my search bar, I'll look at the path the part is DC, that's the domain controller 1. Then you can see that I have access to the file. Alright, so the first thing has been, alright, so either I open server manager or I have pinned group policy on the taskbar. Alright, so I directly right click from here, then I've already expanded it. So that is my OU, that's organizational unit, that's my organizational unit name, my company. So you can see the same thing, I can expand it. So I'm going to deploy it to computers here. Alright, so if I came to domain computers, so you can see that this particular domain, or sorry, this particular workstation is part of the domain computers. So either I'll create a GPU or I'll create a GPU here. I'll expand a GPU object. I'll right click on it to create a new GPU. So let's say Firefox setup. Okay, Firefox setup. Then I'll click on OK. So I think the version was version I think it's 119.0. Okay, so in case of any updates we will verify. So with this one we can link it directly to my GPU, which is actually here. So this is the object, you can link it here. So I can right click on it. We're not going to create a new one and link it, but you have already created one at the object side. So right click here, then choose. You can see that it has appeared here. Then I'll select it and I'll click on OK. So when I expand, you can see that it's here. You click on it. So now you're going to edit it. You right click on it, then click on edit. So we are going to set up that side. So under computer configuration, I said that the Firefox is going to be deployed to computers, alright, not onto users. So under policy, under computer configuration, we expanded and choose software. So you click on this one, you right click here and choose what is called package. Alright, so with the package is what going to be, but don't choose the path. So backslash DC/001 /software installers. Alright, so this is this, then choose your side, then click on OK. So under computer configuration you have two deployment methods. One is assigned and one is advanced. So we're going to use that assigned one for now. Then let's click on OK. Alright, now we can see that it's as shown here is a version deployments state is assigned. The version is 1190. The source is from this side. So there's a source. Alright, so now we are done. So when we are done, I created this domain computers for a security group. I name it deploy software, Firefox software. And this security group, let's assume I have about 10 machines, 50 machines. I'm going to add everybody under this security group. Alright, so if I come here and right click on this and choose properties and go to members who are members of the security group that we actually created. So this WS001 workstation is part of the security group. Alright, for the sake you have only one security, so you have only one workstation that is joined to the domain. That is why I have only one computers here, only one. Alright, so I'm going to add this one to the security filtering in the GPU. Okay, so when I come to the Firefox setup, and when I come under the security filter settings in the GPU can only apply to the following group: users, groups, and what computers. So we are going to add it. I'm going to take this authenticated users. These authenticated users actually refers to everyone. That's what it means. It means everyone, of which the server or the domain controller is also part of it. So when I deploy this, it's going to deploy to every computer that has been joined to the domain, and of which this domain controller is also part of it. Okay, so I don't want the server to have Firefox installed but I rather want to install it through workstations or devices that are joined to the server. So I have to remove giving me the permission. I'll click on OK. So I'm going to add, the name was what? Deploys Firefox software. So if I say deploy, then I click on check name, it will check through the system to see the deploy. If you have only one deploy, it will bring it up, but if you have multiple groups of which it has deployed there, it will bring it up for so that you can actually select the one that you want. So I'll do Firefox or deploy, click on OK. You can see that it has been underlined, so it means that the name has been found. Right, so click on OK. So now you can see it is here. But when it comes to delegations, we have to add what is called authenticated users here as well, so that in case of permission for this specific GPU. So come to the side, add, then so add authenticated users here, so you can find it. So click on OK. We are going to give it a read permission only. Alright, so it has been set. And if we come to details, with this GPU I normally disable some because I'm deploying to only computers. I can choose to disable the user configuration settings. Okay, so I will choose this one. This is part for the updates to run faster. Okay, and if I come to the settings, you can generate a report about the application. So you can see under this policy, computer configuration policy, these are the application processes and informations that we actually have, right? So I think we are done with that. So now we are going to run a command for it to take effect. So we have to run a gp update /force so that we can update the policies. Alright, the policy is successfully. So let me come to this workstation. Okay, so I have to also update it on the side, running the same command that we run out from the server side. So gp updates /force. Alright, so when you run this from the client side, you're going to get this certification. The free one was encountered during the process, so it means that this software actually need a restart before that particular software can be installed. So certain computer policies are enabled that can only be run during the setup. Okay, so OK to restart. So do you want to use what? So we want to, so press on yes or Y for yes, then press enter. So you're about to sign out in less than a second, so it says start. You can say shut down. So I'm going to say restart the machine. Let's say time, I want the 0 seconds. Okay. Now we are restarting the machine. Okay, so it has finished. So let's find out whether our Firefox will be installed. Okay, so now our client's machine has already set up. And now we can see on our desktop that we are having a Firefox here. In order to see whether the Firefox was actually installed, let's go to our control panel. So let's go to our control panel, and then let's go to uninstall programs. Now you can see that Firefox is part of the application that has been added to these programs. Alright, so now you can uninstall it. You can open it for the first time, set it up. Maybe you want to skip this and finish. Let me skip this. So folks, this is how we can install or deploy software on client machines or machines that are joined to a domain. Okay, what we're going to talk next is how to deploy Google Chrome using GPO. So with the next one, we're not going to talk about computer settings. We're going to talk about user settings. All right, so let me come to users, and let me create another GPO here. Right, let's say Chrome installer. Chrome installer, right? So I'll click on OK. So I'm going to link it to the computers as well. Now I'm going to link it to users, so domain users, which they are here. So when I come to domain user, these are the users that I have. All right. So under security, I have deployed Chrome here. So let me look at the members. Member 1 and member 2, sorry, user 1 and user 2 are members of this group. So I'm going to link it to these users, right? Then I'm going to use the group as a security filtering in the group policy side. So where is the main user? So I right click here, link, sorry, I right click on it and link an existing. I'll choose Chrome, and I click on OK. So now let's try to edit this policy. So we are not going to use the computer settings because we have actually used Firefox here. So we are going to look to the users configuration. So we are going to find out the difference between this user configuration and computer configuration when we're actually deploying software. Okay, so let's choose the policies and the policy softwares. Right click, packages, given as a path. So backslash this is 001 softwares. So I'll choose this side. So I choose this one as Chrome. So now you can see that when we were deploying the Google Chrome, we saw 3 selection methods, but only 2 was the option for us to was really what, tick it or check it. They were published, they were this, they were, but only 2 of it was available for us, and this one was grayed out under the computer settings. So when it comes to this side, we have actually given us all the 3 permissions that we can actually do. So you have the publish, the assigned, and then you can see there are some options, or there's some descriptions or information of which when you tick it, it will provide for you. Okay, so we are going to use the default as the publish one. Alright, so now Google Chrome has been added with a version, the publish. So this is the path. Okay, so let's close it. we are going to remove authenticated users like we did earlier. So if I deploy this one, administrators of which I am part of the administrator group, I don't want to have anything to do with the Chrome, so I want to just deploy it to users. All right, so I'm going to look for this under the domain user security group, so deploy Chrome. So then I'll search for deploy Chrome, then I'll just check on it, so it has auto-populated for me. I'll click on OK, and don't forget you come here, then I want to call authenticated users. That's also auto-populated for me. Okay, so with permission only. All right, but before I'll do that, before I apply this policy, I want us to do something here. All right, so let's go to control panel, and let me get to get programs. Now when I get to get programs, I can see that there's nothing here. You can see that install a program from a network, there is nothing here. All right, so let's come here and write gp update/force. So with the user side, user is going to have the application here, and the user is going to install the application by themselves. There's not going to be an automatic installation like what we did earlier when we were using the computer settings. Okay, so let me go to CMD and run the same thing. gp updates, gp update/force. All right, the policy is also done, so let's try to refresh it and see what happened. Now you can see that the Google Chrome has been added, so now I can click here to install it. So now you have to see the difference between the group computer settings and then the user settings. With the computer settings, we're going to automatically install the application on the host machines for you. But when you use the user's configuration, so the user has to come through the side, control panel, get a program, install a program from a network. So it is going to install the program from a network, then click on what install. So now we are installing the Google Chrome on the client machine. So you have to know the difference if you want to actually install certain applications that want to be used by a certain group of people or an individual. All right, so if the application wants to be temporary, you can use any of these two. If the application is going to be used by all the users or the users in your company, then the best option is to use the computer configuration to actually deploy these softwares through those client machines. Okay, all right, let's gather information. Okay, so now you can see that the Chrome has been added to our desktop. Okay, so now you can see that Chrome has been, so let's go to the uninstall program and see does Chrome actually appear under the uninstall programs. Okay, so Chrome is part of it here. All right, so if I come here, I'll still see the Chrome here. Okay, can do organize and other stuff. All right, so folks, this is how you can actually install or deploy applications to client machines or systems using both computer settings and then what, user settings. All right, so I hope you enjoyed it. If in case of any addition you want to add, you can actually add, and I'll be glad. So thank you, and I hope you leave a comment below that section. Okay, and then click on the notification bell for a new upload of videos and as well. Thank you.